All right, let's get started. My name is Alan C. I'm the CEO of New Kingdom Entertainment. This is my podcast, Be Quiet, Grown Folks is Talking. I'm not the smartest person in the world. Uh, I don't know everything, but I do know a lot of things. I'm definitely a work in progress. This podcast is about. I'm concerned about everything that's going on in this world, but I'm more concerned about my culture and my people. So that's what I focus on. And today I'm gonna play a video, and people aren't aware this was happening. And I had discussed this previous the implications of them overturning Roe v. Wade. That it wasn't about abortion; it was about taking away rights. And so this here is a confirmation of what I said weeks ago, months, or maybe a month or so ago. What I said ever since Roe was overturned, and this is a verification of what I was trying to explain to people and tell people. So at this point, I'm gonna let Tiffany Cross. Tiffany Cross is a talking head for MSNBC. She's a black female. She's very knowledgeable, and she, like her colleague. Why can't I think of her name right now? It's another black female MSAB talking head. Wow, I can't think of her name. I don't know why I can't think of her name right now. But anyway, she has a colleague on MSCB that's basically does the same thing that she does. She's just on the weekend. The other colleagues is on during the week, and I don't know why I can't. I'm having a senior moment. I can't remember her name. Anyway, let's get on with this video and see what I'm talking about.
You have the right to remain silent, but don't count on the police to tell you that. The right-wing Supreme Court gutted Miranda rights this week by ruling that officers cannot be sued for failing to provide the Miranda warning before questioning someone in their custody. The decision will cut off a critical avenue for justice and will, of course, disproportionately impact black folks and also many brown folks as well. Joining me now, Philip Atiba-Goff. He's the co-founder and CEO of the Center for Policing Equity. He's also a professor of African American Studies and Psychology at Yale University. Philip, so happy to have you here this morning. You reached out to us for a change. I was so happy. I was like, oh, great, Philip's available. I'll take him. Because you're the ideal person to talk to about this. Everybody wants to talk to you about these issues. SCOTUS is essentially saying that if the police fail to inform you of your rights, you can't sue them. Break it down for us and explain to our viewers what impact this will have on our community.
Right. So Miranda was designed, the Miranda warning that we're used to seeing on cop shows and the rest, it's designed to make sure you're aware of your Fifth and Sixth Amendment rights, your right not to incriminate yourself and your right to counsel. What this decision says is that, hey, that shouldn't be infringed. You still have the right. But if the police happen not to remember or if they don't tell you about it, then you can't sue them for failing to make sure that you knew your rights. So on the sort of baseline, what it does is it creates or it removes the protections against law enforcement doing even more dastardly things as they're thinking about interrogating you, as they're detaining you, all of the things where we want law enforcement to be bound by the Constitution. But there's a deeper component to this that I really want people to understand. So why I reached out to talk to you about this. The reason we have the right to sue law enforcement is because of a law that was passed in 1871. That's the height of Reconstruction, back when the United States had people in government who fought to protect black people against the conditions of chattel slavery. I know it's hard to remember, but we did have that time in the United States. 1871, at the height of Reconstruction, we passed something called the Third Enforcement Act, but it was better known as the Ku Klux Klan Act. 42 U.S.C. Section 1983 said specifically, hey, folks who are police officers, they can't intimidate or abuse folks, right, especially when it comes to voting rights. But it's the police who sometimes acted on behalf of the Klan that needed to be called out in this legislation. It is that law that is the way that folks have sued law enforcement for infringing upon folks' rights. It is that law that is essentially gutted. The law that protected black folks from racial terrorism during the heyday of the Ku Klux Klan, when this country cared about that thing, that is the law that this ruling eviscerates. So I want to be clear, in part because we don't know that history, We no longer have the right to be told about our rights. And that's happening at exactly the same time that folks are passing both laws that protect law enforcement against prosecution and laws that prevent us from learning our history. This stuff is coordinated, and I need folks to know that.
This is why we need you on TV this morning, because that is such a through line that I think a lot of people don't understand when we say things like it's systemic. It is white supremacy built into the system. Everything about that. You're right. These are coordinated efforts that aim to erode our rights. And when we try to warn people, it's because we have the most intimate experience with things like this. We see it coming a mile away. But the most urgent thing I do think, Philip, is outside of understanding where these laws come from, what I'm concerned about is my brethren, my fellowship, my community. When you find yourself in that position, when you're facing off with law enforcement and you have not been warned of your Miranda rights, what should people do? How should people handle that situation? Because if you can't sue the police, I do wonder what impact this will have on the justice system as you try to navigate a very punishing justice system to folks who look like you and me.
Yeah, so it's incredibly difficult. Know your rights campaigns are going to be even more important. The first question is always, are you detaining me or am I free to go? If you are free to go, walk away slowly and calmly, but they have to tell you whether or not you're free to go. If you're being detained, you can say, great, I'd like to speak to my lawyer. That's it. Don't ever think that you can get into a verbal spat or that it's good just to talk casually. I'd like to speak to my lawyer. If I am not free to go, you are detaining me. I'd like to speak to my lawyer. And I want to also have folks understand that this is in the context of state and local. But earlier this month, the court, in a decision that wasn't as sort of lifted up as this one, in Egbert versus Boulay, they did the same thing for federal law enforcement. So because federal law enforcement, in this case it was Customs and Border Patrol, they have a national security interest. Now there's no one under cover of law that you can sue when they violate your civil rights. I cannot overstate how terrible a situation that is. So for those who are caught up in the situation, am I free to go? I'd like to speak to my lawyer. But for everybody else, we got to be not just voting, but organizing outside of electoral politics. This needs to be a concerted effort for generations to come, because they have just set us generations back.
Yes, we have to reimagine democracy, that if this government is truly for the people, by the people, of the people, what does it look like if that includes folks who look like us? Such profound words from you. I just want to say a friend of mine got in a situation before and she was being questioned by the police, and she said she didn't want to ask for a lawyer because she didn't want to appear to look guilty. Who cares how you appear? Ask for a lawyer if you find yourself in that situation. So thank you for those words. Philip Atiba-Goff, please come back very soon. We always need your insight here.
All right, so if you watched that video, and the young lady's Tiffany Cross, her colleague, I was trying to think about is Joy Reid. They both do an outstanding job for MSNBC, and their content a lot of time is orientated towards us, as it should be, them being two black women. Anyway, if you watch this video and now you understand what I said, that them overturning Roe was not about abortion. It was about rights. It was about taking away your rights, and they're going to continue to take away more of your rights. If this isn't an example of them taking away your rights, now you don't have we don't have the Ku Klux Klan Act anymore. We can't sue the police if they violate our rights, and especially our voting rights. We can't sue the police. The Supreme Court has taken that right away from something that was given to us when we came out of slavery. This is just the tip of the iceberg. They're gonna ban abortion if they get into office. If the Republicans take back the Congress, they're going to ban abortion rights nationwide. They're going to ban gay rights nationwide. They're going to take away every possible right they can. They're going to give you guns and take away your rights. They're going to make a lot of people angry, and a lot of people are going to be killing each other. And that's the purpose. It's the cruelty. Cruelty is the purpose of this. I know Democrats ain't worth shit, but Republicans are so much worse. And the fact is, we have very little choice. Come November, we have to vote for them. But what we should do is make sure we're voting for the right Democrats. We should make sure we put the right Democrats in power, because all Democrats ain't really Democrats. And this may be controversial, but I am so sick and tired of us being ignorant to the Constitution, ignorant to the laws. Yes, I understand the Constitution was not written for us, but it does apply to us, and we can use it. That's why they taken away these rights that was given to us in the Constitution. They trying to remove these rights so we can't use the Constitution to guarantee that we are treated properly. And I see so many videos now. It's our own people that are doing the oppression. It's these stupid ass. We have too many dumbass black folks that don't know the laws, don't understand simple First Amendment rights. They don't understand Fourth Amendment rights. They don't understand Fifth Amendment rights, and they damn sure don't understand the Sixth Amendment. And just forget about the Third Amendment. We might as well not even question that. And they convolute the Second Amendment. We need to start learning the laws. Take some if you don't know the law, take some civil class, study it yourself, find out what the laws are and what they really mean. Because if you don't exercise them, you will lose them. That's why I have mad respect for all these First Amendment auditors that are running around, these people running around taking pictures in public and seeing if dumbass people and police have a problem with it and come at them for doing it when it's perfectly legal. It's a Fourth Amendment right. You can film in public. Anything you can find in public. If you are in public, you can be filmed. You are being filmed at all times. You're being filmed so much that you have no clue how many times you are being captured on some video camera somewhere. So stop acting stupid, talk about don't film me, and you're in public. Take your ass in the house. If you don't want to be filmed, take your stupid ass in the house and stay in the house. And stop being a clown. If you don't understand the First Amendment, if you don't understand that you don't have no expectation of privacy in public, stay your ass in the house. Because it's bad enough all our rights to be taken. That's all we need is for that right to be taken. At least we as of right now, we still have that right to film our public officials and film police and public officials in public. And these dumbass, especially our dumbass people that are in these positions of cops and public officials, don't understand that. And it's a damn shame. I don't understand how you could be a law enforcement officer, be a cop, and you don't know the law, or you don't. I think a lot of them, they don't even care if they did know it. They don't care to enforce it, because if it doesn't work the way they think it ought to work, then they they don't give a F about it. But we have to stop allowing our rights to be violated everywhere that we go. Now, we don't have to act like a Karen and be manager or this, that, every time something goes wrong, but you need to let, if your rights, if you're being violated, you need to let someone know, or let that person know that you know what the law is, and you know that your rights are being violated, and not allow it to happen. And we have to stop saying, oh, well, that's the way it is. Oh, it's been like that forever. Oh, you can't really change. Yes, you can. You can change everything. And policy. I'm so sick of people talking about policy, because policy is a law. Remember that. And culture will eat policy alive. So we have to be diligent. Like this Miranda thing that just happened, like, you have no idea how seriously and how effed up this really is. So we need to make sure we get some people in office and that will change these laws. And we definitely, we need to press Biden. He needs to fill a court. He needs to expand the court. He needs to expand the court, because if the court remains the way it is, we're going to have so many rights taken away. And if we don't have the Congress, we're not going to be able to do anything about it. But with the Congress and the right people in there, we can negate anything that this crazy ass Supreme Court that we have right now is doing and about to do. Y'all need to pay attention, because shit is about to get real. Y'all think things been real before you think it's it's about to really get real. And with that, y'all try to have a good day on purpose. I'm out.